Hi Peaches! So today we're going to be doing an unboxing plus how-to for Janet Collection's DIY lace front wig kit. So if you want to learn how to make one yourself, keep watching. So first we're going to need some gloves. They're going to come in handy later for when we dye and bleach our wig. You'll need a developer of your choice. This is the only thing I had in the house, so I just kind of went with it. The bleach that I'm using now is by Claro. I never used it before, so it's kind of something new. Of course, you're going to need a bowl and a brush for your bleach and your color. The dye that I'm going to be using today is Froze by Arctic Fox. And of course, some extra tools to style your wig. These are also provided by Janet Collections. So here's a little insert that came in the bundle package. So if you wanted to get the same kind of length that I have, here you go. So these are the bundles I'm using today. This is Brazilian human hair, so you're able to bleach and color it and do whatever, however you want to. I'm also going to be showing you guys what it looks like up close. So here are the fibers up close. Very soft, looks like it's very easy to work with. I've never worked with human hair bundles before, so this is, again, new for me. And I wanted to show you guys the lace part of it, so you can just decide on if this is for you or not. Of course, you can, work with it and change it up however you want to, but I think this it's a really good start for beginners, like myself. Along with the bundles, this kit came as well. Personally, I like to work with the Cork Canvas instead of the styrofoam head because the T-pins tend to stay a little bit more. And also you can see I was kind of struggling to open this. And we're going to give this a little open later. So this is what the head looks like. And for those of you who are confused of where the back is, it is where the little hump meets the nape of the neck. So that's where the back is. All of the little tools that you need is going to be in this little box right here. So when you open it up, the first thing you're going to see is a little instruction booklet that gives you guidelines on how to make your units. This also has a base net for your unit, so it has 2 combs on the side and 1 at the bottom, so it should fit securely on your head. There's also these little clasps in the back for extra security, so if you're going to a club somewhere, yeah, she's staying. She ain't going nowhere. So a word of advice, measure your head because your wig will come out not fitting how you want it to if you don't, and if your head is bigger or smaller than the mannequin. And you'll want to measure it at the widest part of your head. And now, since all of that is covered, let's finally get into making the wig. So here I'm going to show you how to correctly position your wig net on your mannequin. You don't want your net to be all the way in the front as it is now. You're going to want to push it back so that there's room for the lace. If you align your combs correctly, it should look like this. And remember that wide open space is for your lace, not your full head. This is how you want your lace to look. It looks a little weird, looks a little funny, but if you have it further back, it's going to look even funnier. So make sure that you have your lace in front and not all the way back. So now I'm just putting T-pins in it to help it stay. And now I'm just sewing it together. This part I had a little bit of trouble with because I was just kind of figuring out how do I want to get this to line up, like what kind of stitch do I want to do. So I just kind of went over and under. And as you can see, like in the beginning, it was just kind of like a little rough because I was just kind of like, what do I do for this? And later down the line, you know, I got my zone in, but like in the beginning, she was a little rough. She was rough. This is an optional step, but if you kind of need like guidelines to help you place your tracks, then this is gonna help. Ignore that this is like actual eyeliner and not a marker. I didn't have anything else like on me at the time, so like we're doing like the real ghetto shit right now. So now I'm just pinning the track in place over the guidelines. This is going to make sewing it a lot easier rather than you just holding the track and sewing it as you go. Trust me on this. You're going to want to pin it down. And after you got your last pin in, we're going to cut the end of the track. So don't mind my scissors. I couldn't find my shears, so better this than nothing. So now what we're gonna do is sew the track. I personally like to go inside the thick part because I think it's gonna last a little longer. You can go by your own way if you'd like. That's all up to you. Now we're gonna repeat the process with the other tracks until we're done. So now we're just finishing up our wig. If you come across a little gap, just add another track. That's totally fine. There's gonna be a little bit of lace, but that's gonna be hidden as soon as you style your wig and pull some of that hair back. So don't worry about that. And here's what the stitching ended up looking like. And I was actually very surprised by it. And ta-da, the end product. So I was actually very happy with it and how it came out. Like for being my first lace front wig. And I was really happy. And now what we're gonna do is cut this part off. That is in a way of our lace front and we don't need it. So what I'm doing now is turning the wig inside out so I can access the excess parts of the cap and cut it off. That way it's going to be a lot more easier to do that. So please, 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 please have a sharp eye when you are cutting the excess off, because since the thread is black and it does, you know, mesh in with the cap, it'll be a little hard to see. So just be careful when you're doing this so you're not cutting a part of your stitching. And now that we've finished that and gotten that all cut up, we're gonna move to the fun part, and that's the bleaching, which I did off camera because it got a little messy. But I am no way a professional at this. Like the last time I bleached was like years ago. So I basically forgot everything. So this is how it came out. The color came to be like a little dull for me and I didn't want to bleach it again. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna make lemonade out of oranges. So I wanted to put a tint to it. So I decided to mix together Sunshine and Fose by Arctic Fox just to bring out the colors a little bit more. I also did this off camera, but as you can see, the dye did give it a nice tint and brought out the tones in it. And you know what? I like it. It looks bold. It's very, very cute. So we're gonna deal with it. So you can really see how the pink brought out all the tones in the back. So here I'm just plucking and razoring the middle parts, some baby hairs, and also making the wig lay a little flatter at the top. So I would be careful with the razor because you can easily shed a lot off. So just be very light-handed with it if you do opt for the razor. So as you can see, the black side has more of a hump than the red side. So we're going to do the same thing over to that side and we're going to give it a little fixing up. After getting that out of the way, I decided I wanted to give it a style because it was like a little bit flat to me, so I wanted to put some curls in it. And tip of advice, if you're using a curling wand, make sure that you're wrapping your hair around the wand tightly or it's going to be like very loose. Hold it for 10 seconds. And then after that, hold the curl so that it cools down. So now I'm just going to repeat the process all around the head, and you guys can just sit back and watch me do that. And now since it's all been curled, I'm going to comb it out with my hands and also a brush because we don't want it to look like this. So unless you're trying to do that really tight curl Shirley Temple look, be my guest, but this is not what we're gonna do here. So I did ended up brushing this out a lot, but I still wanted to keep some of the like really tightness at the end because like I really like curly hair like so much. So we're just giving her a little bit of a spray just to keep some of those curls intact. And I would say this is like a really fun project to do. Like it took me about 3 days to get her done due to like some other work I had to do. But overall, like I enjoyed it and like I enjoyed the process of it. So thank you, Janet Collections, for sending me this cute little kit. I'm going to link them down in the description below, so be sure to check them out and get one for yourself. Bye, Peaches!